afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited. Give a round of applause for ourselves. This has been amazing. Amazing. I can't hear the round of applause. Clap for yourselves. Hasn't this been amazing? I mean, first of all, I want you to give a round of applause to all of the speakers as well. Everybody that has spoken before me. Amazing. When I came in here, I connected immediately. And we don't have so much time, so I'm going to talk about just two major points. Auntie Grace, like I call her, asked me to speak on financial literacy. And so when I came in, I was like, you know what? I'll just summarize my points with 2 points because you guys are already loaded, right? Yeah. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm loaded. Aren't you loaded? All right. So one of the things that I came into 2023 with was a word that God gave me. And I really like the fact that I'm in a place where we can speak freely about our faith. Because honestly, like I always tell everyone, the Holy Spirit is a very intelligent spirit. I call him infinite intelligence, right? When I want to tap into any new ideas for my business, I go to the Holy Spirit. And honestly, everything that he said I have done today came from the presence of God. I can't even lie. When I came into 2023, there was a word that God gave me and said ownership. Anytime I want to bring my people into a place of wealth, I always think about ownership. When he was taking the people of Israel, he says, I will show you a what? Land. You have to think about ownership in this season because if you're thinking about creating wealth, you have to think about how can I own? Whatever you're thinking about, how can I own a business? How can I own real estate? You have to think ownership. Your mindset is so key in this season. So when I speak about financial literacy, I'm not just saying invest your money in anything. I'm saying invest your money in assets that will bring you into a place of ownership. So if there's one thing you leave this place with, and I like the fact that Auntie Grace is giving out land today, you have to think ownership, right? Tell your neighbor, say ownership. So what are the things I'm going to work on owning? I remember one day my son came home. He came home from school and he looked at me and said, Mommy, my teacher said if I want to be successful and work in a bank, I should do my work. And I said, no, you do your work because you're going to own a bank. Yes. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not grooming children that all they want to do is have a job, right? Because why? You can have a job, but you can still be an owner. And I said there are 2 ways to own a bank. 1, you can start a bank with your friends. 2, you can buy shares in a bank. Yes, because you're a shareholder in a bank, you own a bank. So that's one of the things I need to educate you on and how you can own things. If you buy shares, even on the public stock market, you're a shareholder and you're a co-owner of a business. So if you're thinking ownership, yes, you can own real estate, you can own businesses as well. I'm an investor in many startups and businesses, right? And today, I know what I received in terms of dividend. So when I'm saying ownership, I want you to understand that you think about assets that provide the opportunity to own a share in a business or your own business or you're owning assets, right? That's when I think about ownership. So the second thing I want to also talk about is access to information. First thing is what? The second thing is access to information. Don't be deceived, right? The people that get rich, right? One of the key things they have is they have access to information. And it's usually within their circle, the kind of friends they surround themselves with, the kind of communities they belong to, or the people they are speaking to. In 2020, everybody was speaking COVID pandemic, right? But guess what? If you're not looking at the news, you will know that billionaires got richer in 2020. You will know that the people that have money, they got a lot more money than ever before, while a lot of people got poorer. So your mindset has to change. See, when the economy is down, that's when the opportunities are available. So when they're telling you there's inflation, there's currency devaluation, I'll be like, oh, that's fantastic. This is an amazing season to invest. Because that's how my mind thinks. There are opportunities, but what you need is access to information. And I'll share some stories. In March 2020, I remember I was pregnant. And I was speaking to one of my mentors, and he was saying, I was just asking him about the financial markets, like what's going on, the kind of people I surround myself with, I'm very bad at particular. And he says, you know what, this is the time to invest in the stock market. I was like, Nigerian stock markets, like everything was down. Literally everything was down. Globally, Nigerian stock market, the US stock market, everything was down. He says, you know what, come, let me teach you. He said, for the past 25 years, I have made money from the Nigerian stock market and I have sponsored my children to school. He also owns real estate as well. But I'm just going to talk about different asset classes. And I said, tell me how. He said, what I do is I invest in businesses that are solid. Remember I said what? Ownership. By owning shares in a business, he invests. So he's not just buying shares because he wants to make money. He's actually very particular about the kind of businesses that he owns part of. So by being very particular about those businesses, he knows that those businesses will always make money. And I said, okay, come and teach me. And I kid you not. In March, I took some position, and by the end of that year, I done 120% on my return in the stock market because I had what? Access to information. So you need to, when Auntie Grace wants to say you want to start a community, make sure you're part of that community. Make sure you surround yourself with people that can give you access to information. When anything is happening in different sectors and economy, you need to know. Because how are you going, you've learned all of these things today, and then you have the money. How are you going to know what to do with the money? You need access to information. You need to be in the right circles. You need to know what's going on. There are so many investment opportunities that I get in my inbox every day, and I'm like, wow, a lot of people need to know these things, and the rich people keep putting their money there because not a lot of people have access to it, right? And most people don't know that in 2020, the Nigerian stock market was the best performing stock market in the world. Yes, in dollar terms. That's why we say that the Naira has devalued. In dollar terms, the Nigerian stock market was the best performing stock market in the world. But not everybody knows. And the people that took advantage. Right? You need to understand that, look, when they say there is a casting, there is a what? Because you belong to a kingdom. That is not, the wealth in that kingdom is not determined by what is happening in the local economy. Right? So your mindset has to change. You need to begin to seek access to information. Don't just go looking for money. Who can teach me these things? How can I understand how capital markets work? How can I understand how real estate works? How can I understand those things? And then when you do make the money, begin to put them into assets and build a portfolio. Right? So let's talk about, in 2020, let's talk about real estate. So I remember, I was speaking to one of my mentors as well in the real estate environment, and he was saying that, a lot of people are defaulting, and I realized that, wow, so a lot of these people will be selling great properties at a discount. Yes, it was at a discount. And I thought, I need to tap into this. So I went to look at some of the properties along the Lekki, because prior to that, I had land. And I said, I want to get into property this year. So I went to look at some properties along the Lekki Ekpe Expressway, and I saw a very good one. In fact, 3 years ago, a mentor of mine had bought a house there. And I walked up to them and I said, I would like to own this house. And they said, okay, we're having issues and default. I said, I know, because this is a season where everybody needs cash, right? So I am prepared and I'm ready to take advantage of this opportunity. And he says, come and buy this house. He gave me a property at the same price my mentor bought it 3 years ago. Yes. And because of that, my rental income on that house is about 10%. Now, if you understand how rental yield works, the average rental yield in Lagos is probably like 5 or 6%. But because I got in at a low price, my average yield is what? 10%. I remember when Morenike is my friend, and my younger sister, she came to meet me and she said, I want to buy land. I said, no, Morenike, you already own land. It's time to do property. And she was like, I'm not sure I have the money. I said, no, we will do property. And she found the property and she made the down payments. She said, I'll make this first down payment. Today, Morenike is a landlord. I asked her if I could share this story. So she called me and she said, I want to buy more land. I said, no, let's move to the next level. You need people like that around you as well. That can say, it's time to take on, let's move you up. You already own the land. If you don't have land, please start there. Like I said, it's always a good place to start. Nobody's here to say that if you have land, there's not anything wrong with it. And like you've heard from all the women that shared on the panel today, start from where you are. Don't look at anybody, don't follow anybody on social media. But I'm here to inspire you with stories, to show you that, look, what you need is, first of all, the right mindset, which is why I said ownership. If you're not thinking ownership, when that money comes into your hands, you'll be like, that's how a lot of people get into Ponzi schemes. Someone says, give me the money, I'll give you 60%. You're like, my friends are doing it, everybody's doing it. It's when you put your own money. Now, that's the way it works, right? Everybody has made their own money, but when you put your own money, please, who wants to wave? Just lift up your hands a bit if you've experienced that. But you have to be very careful, because one of the things that, as an investment professional, you need to understand is if there's no clear value in that business, if you don't know what this business is doing, it's definitely or most probably a Ponzi scheme. What are they doing? They said they're doing gold. You know the gold now. Have you ever seen the gold before? I'm sure you heard of that gold story. I was like, please, where is the gold? I want to see the gold. Right? And yeah, a lot of us have made those mistakes. Right? I have done some network marketing as well. But you have to decide, look, this is a season for ownership. And I'm telling you that's because if you see what's happening in the world, I'm an economist, and I look around what's happening in the world right now. It's a set stage for wealth transfer. If you understand it, see, there's something about understanding economic principles, and there is something about understanding spiritual principles. Now, if you bring those two together, that is what I call infinite intelligence. Because the Holy Spirit will tell you and say, there's something going on here. Everything is a set stage for wealth transfer. And the way wealth transfer happens is amazing opportunities will come at a discount. And then those that are prepared, keyword, those that are prepared, you've done the work, you've put in the hard work, you're building your business, you have the capital, they seize opportunities like that. That's what happened in 2020. There was a massive wealth transfer in 2020. And we're going to come into more of that now because I kid you not, the analysts are still predicting a recession. But for the people of God, it will be a lifting. It has to be a lifting if you are prepared. So you need to get financially literate. How do financial markets work? My personal finance, your personal finance has to be tidy. This is not a time to spend it anyhow. You need to know where your money is going. Where exactly is your money going? Do you have a budget? Those are like basic things that I don't really want to teach today, right? But all of these things are fundamental. You know why? Because if you don't get that foundation right, when more money comes into your hands, you will level up. You know what level up means? If you cannot be disciplined with 1 million, you will not be disciplined with 100 million naira. You cannot. You will not. Because it's the same person that has the money. I'm sure you've heard of people that win lottery. $1 million comes into their hands, and within 2 months, they are broke. Because sometimes it's not about money, it's about the person. It's about the person holding the money with the right mindset. Ownership. What kind of assets do I be owning in this season? I invested in a business in 2020, one of these fintech businesses. It was acquired 2 months ago. I'm making 8x on that investment in dollars. When I put down that money, there were other things I could put the money for, but I was like, ownership. I'm going to be a part owner of this business because this business is growing. So you need to think ownership. What are the assets that make me own in this season? Off the top of my head, I would say real estate, owning part of your business, the stock market, Nigeria stock market, US stock market. Please don't invest in what you don't understand. Let me just put that caveat out there. Don't just rush into anything because they said, I should invest in stocks. Please, what are the stocks that are trading? No, like I told you, there's a strategy for investing in the stock market. There's a strategy for investing in real estate. Of course, real estate, key things are location and development. Right location, the right development, and you are definitely going to see an appreciation on the value of your real estate property. Right? So I'm just going to round up with those 2 points because I know that a lot of you're already loaded. So what was the first point? What was the second point? Amazing. Put your hands together. Thank you very much.